This morning from the White House building, Felele in Ibadan. My name is Tunde Olawuwo. Of course, another edition of Sport Bank is coming your way, and it promises to be exciting, maybe less controversial, than the last couple of days. And I assure you that we're not going to start with anything about the European Super League this morning. Maybe sometime later, but we are not starting with that one because in the last, 72 hours, it seems as if nothing else has happened in the world of sports outside of the controversy, the anger, and, the counter-attacks, let me put it that way, the verbal attacks, against the proposed ESL. That's me not talking about it, right? Okay, just so you know that from now to 8 o'clock, you get the best and the latest in the world of sport. And here, I've got my great friends in the house this morning. Ayobami Animashaun is on board Sports Bank this Wednesday, and Feromi Adegboyega. Don't forget that we're streaming live this morning on our Facebook fan page, Splash 105.5 FM. Be our guest online. Let's, using the street parlance, let's catch this cruise together. We also have a teaser for you. Ayani Bashan will be taking us through that one in due course. Good morning, Ayobami.
Yeah, good morning to you today. Good morning to Fermi. Good morning to the listener out there. I mean, it seems we are now starting to breathe a bit of fresh air again.
Yes.
The dust are gradually settling, and it seems that we are resuming to normalcy in the world of football, because what we've had in the last 2.5 days obviously is way out of the norm, to the point whereby a manager in the caliber of Jose Mourinho was sacked, and we didn't even offer to talk about it for too long. Tottenham Hotspur actually hired a 29-year-old new manager who would actually be facing a stern test against Man City in a matter of days. We didn't even get to talk about it extensively. Well,
European Super League was greedy. Not only in terms of money,
but also in terms of attention.
Yes. But we are going to win ourselves, and I mean, I give this to you all credit, because on Monday I was scared that perhaps in the next couple of weeks it's going to be about the European Super League. But you said, look, before next Tuesday, that's what you promised me, that everything would have been sorted. Well, I'm glad that you're right.
We didn't even have to wait till next Tuesday, because all the 6 EPL clubs now, talking about Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Manchester City, Tottenham, and Liverpool, have all pulled out of the proposed European Super League. And that means it seems from the look of things, if it's ever going to go ahead, it will actually be without the English clubs. But then,
even
we are now asking,
outside of England, some other clubs are actually
already contemplating. Yeah. So, but the question we now have on our Twitter post, Twitter page rather, is asking our listeners this morning that in the advent of the withdrawal of these EPL clubs, should there be punishment for them, or the league organizers and possibly UEFA should rather have a roundtable talk with these clubs and seek for a bit of resolution, just maybe to avoid a future reoccurrence of this kind of thing? Because some people are saying we haven't seen the last of it. Some are saying rather this is the end of it. But then in a bit to actually prevent a reoccurrence, what should league organizers and UEFA do? Should they sanction these clubs, or should they call for a roundtable talk? That's what we have on our Twitter page. And of course, you can go on Twitter, search for @Splash FM 1055, @Splash FM 1055. You find that post, of course, with a picture saying shame on you, RIP LFC. That's from Liverpool fans against their beloved club. So you can actually drop your comments under that post on Twitter.
Okay. This is, dragging us into the European Super League.
Obviously, I wasn't going to do that.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning to you today. Good morning to you, and of course, some wonderful listener. I mean, it's going to be difficult not to actually talk about it, because it's
not to start with it. I'm not saying we'll not talk about it.
Yeah, not to start with it, because it's more like what everybody is actually talking about now, and getting people are talking and thinking at this point in time. Well, maybe I should just give a quick reaction to that question. Well, for me, I don't think they should get punished because of an idea that they've actually decided to bring on board. It's normal for anybody to want to decide and do something, and of course, for you as an organization, as an association, if you feel it doesn't pay you, I think that is, they've just done the right thing by kicking against it, and those clubs are back.
But that was rebellious.
Yeah.
They rebelled against the system, and you know what happens when you are unsuccessful?
I think they were more rebellious to UEFA than to the domestic league. In that sense, because it's more like actually creating something similar to the UEFA Champions League.
But
they didn't say that they were going to leave their domestic league.
But you also realize
the domestic league that threatened them that if you're going to participate in this, you have to leave us.
You should also realize that if this move had actually turned out successful, it will deprive other clubs in the EPL the opportunity to play at the top level.
Definitely.
Because obviously they will just be playing amongst themselves. Even if they manage to actually qualify to the said renowned Champions League without Arsenal, Chelsea, and all that clubs, it won't really look glamorous as it used to be. So that is depriving them of that glory, that dream of playing in the top competitions against the biggest of oppositions, for the likes of Everton, likes of maybe Brighton and Hove Albion and all that. So you are depriving them that opportunity. So that's exactly why the other 14 clubs in the EPL are also feeling aggrieved. But if you are saying, okay, fine, they shouldn't be punished, I sort of actually sit along with that. But I think also we should be quite careful, because this is not the first time we're hearing this. And because there has been no sanction in times past, perhaps that actually give them the opportunity to actually grow in wings.
Okay, if you're going to ask now, what kind of punishment do you think would actually suit them?
Well, I would actually suggest too, from the angle of the league organizers, I think they should
financial?
No, not financial.
What else?
I think they should actually put a bit of stadium ban on those clubs for EPL fixtures. But the biggest sanction rather will be coming from UEFA. And here it is, for my own suggestion, I will ask UEFA, suggest to UEFA to place not even FFP ban alone, but also squad registration ban on those clubs going to the subsequent Champions League editions, maybe for the next 1 or 2 years.
This will not actually cause another uprising?
No, because it is a punishment. It is a punishment for trying to plan a coup.
These clubs will feel that, okay, we have not really done anything wrong. So
they haven't.
To them.
They planned a coup. It wasn't successful.
I know they have actually done something wrong.
But they did something wrong.
They might not actually feel like that.
No, they did. And just maybe to actually prevent other clubs from even trying to think about something of sort.
Okay.
You need to lay down a marker. Make sure going forward for the next 1 or 2 years there is this huge sanction of FFP pass. I think the usual percentage is about I think it's about just 20% or 25% of your profit margin for the next year. But this time around, increase the profit margin. The sanction rather. Make it so ridiculous for them.
But trust me,
that would obviously curtail them from wanting to spend a whole lot.
Okay.
And then
we have to be very careful.
In the world of tennis. Quickly from the Barcelona Open, we'll do a round of Denis Shapovalov and Jannik Sinner began their campaigns with second round victories. Both young talents had buys in the first round, and 7th seed Shapovalov overcame Frenchman Jeremy Chardy 6-3, 7-5. Italian teenager Sinner broke into the top 20 for the first time this week and continued to rack up victories, beating Igor Gerasimov 6-3, 6-2. 5th seed Roberto Bautista Agut will be Senna's next opponent. Is to a 6-4, 6-love win over fellow Spaniard Pablo Andujar. Elsewhere, Cameron Norrie continued his fine 2021 season by knocking out 12th seed Karen Kachanov with a 6-3, 6-4, 6-3, 6-3 victory, and set up a third round clash with 8th seed David Goffin. And on to basketball, the LA Clippers. That is the Los Angeles Clippers woes continues as Kawhi Leonard will be out until at least next week while managing right foot soreness. The All-Star was ruled out of Tuesday night's game against the Portland Trail Blazers, and the Clippers said it will be evaluated next week. Clippers coach Ty Lue said the team is holding Leonard out to be safe as the postseason nears. In Kawhi Leonard's absence, Paul George had 33 points, including 2 free throws with 4.8 seconds left that gave the Los Angeles Clippers a 113-112 victory over the Portland Trail Blazers on Tuesday night. Elsewhere, Kyrie Irving capped a 32-point performance with a tough turnaround jumper, a driving layup through converging defenders, and 4 free throws in the final minute. And the Brooklyn Nets head on for 134-129 victory over the reeling New Orleans Pelicans on Tuesday night. In the other results, Atlanta Hawks defeated Orlando Magic 112-96. New York Knicks also defeated Charlotte Hornets 109-97. And Sacramento Kings lost against Minnesota Timberwolves 134-120. Okay, let's talk about the highly welcomed NWFL Super 6. One of the top contenders of the Nigerian Women Football League Premiership title and ticket for the WAFOB qualifiers for the CAF Women Champions League, Edo Queens FC of Benin, lost their second match in the ongoing Super 6 to narrow the team's chance of picking the ticket to Continental Showpiece. The team lost 2-1 against Sunshine Queens of Akure. Rangers, Rivers Angels and Delta Queens played a goalless result in another game of the day. However, the biggest shock of the two had lowly rated FC Robo of Lagos defeat NWFL Premiership top-rated team and multiple champions Bayelsa Queens of Yanagwa 2-0. Today is the rest day of the NWFL Premiership Super 6 as actions will resume tomorrow and continue this Friday before a second rest day on Saturday and the final action on Sunday. So it is safe right now to revisit the European, the proposed and now collapsing European Super 6, if I may put it that way. We're already seeing a lot of statements from some of the clubs. Manchester United posted on their Twitter page will not be participating in the European Super League, having listened to the UK government, the fans, the stakeholders, and so many other people. Also for Liverpool, they have also released a statement on their Twitter saying Liverpool Football Club can confirm that our involvement in proposed plans to form a European Super League has been discontinued. For Tottenham Hotspur, also on the verified Twitter page, we can confirm that we have formally commenced procedures to withdraw from the group developing proposals for a European Super League. For Chelsea, they had it very tough yesterday. Their fans, gathered outside Stamford Bridge.
So the intervention of Peter Cech.
Yes,
I think that was actually what triggered all of this.
Yes,
I guess they didn't see it.
Chelsea fans were not having any of that
at all.
It was like a domino effect. Right from that moment, a few minutes later, we got confirmation that Manchester City actually pulled out. The moment that happened, of course, there was also words at that particular ground of protest that Chelsea were already, planning to actually pull out of that. And you could, I saw a video of Chelsea fans jubilating at that instant. So, that movement right there from Chelsea fans, we have to actually give it a whole lot of kudos because it all started from the online social media platforms, but taking it to the street, to the ground, that's the next level, and it's eventually paid off.
And that's what we're talking about, the culture right there. The history of football right there in Europe. You don't want to go against the fans. They will definitely rebel against you if you're doing something that is actually against them. And that is what we have just seen at this point in time. So I think, they would actually learn a great lesson from this at this point in time. And, for me, I think, this was a very good one coming from the fans, trying to make sure that they actually do the needful to make sure that this doesn't actually go ahead. Because, trust me, if it had actually gone ahead, I'm very sure majority of these fans would not want to support their, respective clubs any longer.
And, they are not even ending there. From reports I'm gathering, it seems that they are also trying to look out for ways to still exploit their powers to see if they can actually force the hands of these American owners of their clubs. Chiefly talking about Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester United. Remember,
what about the Russian owner of Chelsea? Are you going to force Abramovich out?
No. I think the thing is, the Chelsea fans are a bit understanding as regards the stance of Abramovich, because reports already suggest that even before the whole fallout, I think since early yesterday, that both City and Chelsea were forced into this. They were not really in line into it, but they just felt like they didn't want to get left out of the whole movement, and that is why they practically just joined the movement. But remember, they also the first set of clubs to quickly just pull out of the whole proposed European Super League. So that pretty much, eases off the pressure on their owners for now. But I think for Liverpool, they are even feeling the biggest of it because according to the statement they released, they didn't sound a bit apologetic. They were just going, they just went straight to the point. They pulled out and that's all. Arsenal went as far as saying it was a huge mistake, and they regret that.
Apology.
Exactly. Yes. But for Liverpool, that wasn't the case. So you can imagine what John W. Henry is actually feeling right now, and perhaps how big this is going to be in terms of his future as possibly the owner of Liverpool.
For Manchester United, the hugely powerful Ed Woodward, executive vice chairman of the club, has also resigned.
Yeah. Maybe that's a bit of news that
it's going to. To the end of the season. To the end of the season, but can we really say, because some are, putting up the narrative that this had been in the works, that this may not actually have anything to do with the collapsed Super League.
The timing is suggesting otherwise. Honestly, the timing is suggesting otherwise because fine, of course, I think his role has been under question for the last few months or even seasons. If you have been following Manchester United's transfers right there in the market, but I think having to actually pull these down at this moment, just hours or minutes before the club eventually put out of such a proposed league, I think it's really difficult for me to look outside a correlation between these two, and it also says a whole lot perhaps about his own stance as well. Perhaps he actually felt this is something he didn't want. And at that moment, it seems the Glazers family wanted it so badly, and he was kicking against it. And of course, he had to actually tender his resignation. I wish that he perhaps waited a bit longer. Just maybe he could have actually offered us a bit of a different outlook. Maybe he could have actually won the battle and ultimately the war in bringing common sense back to Manchester United. But hey, the resignation has been announced already, and maybe that will actually come as a bit of good news as well. So double dose of good news for Manchester United fans.
So far that he has actually been there for Manchester
United. He has brought in a lot of money.
He has brought in a lot of money, but
I think what people have actually questioned is his role in the transfer market.
Definitely, and that is what
he's
really
chiefly responsible for their commercial success in the last 15 years.
No one would definitely dispute that. But
as a business, you wouldn't call that kind of person a failure.
Of course, relatively, but to the fans, you
see,
they would see him as someone that has not actually done.
I think his era actually started
away from the commercial and the financial aspect.
Again,
because they want to see the title.
No. I'm looking at this.
All of this on his door.
Of course, he has actually been involved in some of the transfers and the managers that have actually been involved.
I'm looking at this from one angle,
United,
which is from the angle of his era, which started, I think, from 2013, which obviously coincided with the departure of Alex Ferguson. Listen, it's always going to be very tumultuous for anybody coming into that role. Ferguson actually instilled himself as the biggest factor in terms of signings and transfers for the club. So whoever is coming in would have a whole lot to deal with, and that's why I would really cut him some slack. Look at United within this time spell; they've still been able to actually sign some of top players. You would actually put it in that context. I mean, they had Lukaku, signed Pogba back, add Zlatan at the point in time, and look at the caliber of managers they've also hired as well. I mean, Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, Luis Van Gaal. Listen, these are decent managers as well. So I think you can cut it some slack.
And it was a gamble. Because of our time, it's
I didn't see that coming.
It's official now that all the 6 EPL clubs, big 6 in England, who were either to a part of the proposed European Super League, have withdrawn. In Spain, Joan Laporte released a statement saying that the socios, who are the owners of the club, will vote, but we know where that will end. For Real Madrid, I mean, they can't be the only one playing in the European Super League.
I think the timing is just perfect for Perez. It's just perfect for him, because if this had happened about 2 weeks ago, perhaps he could have actually played a key role in terms of his re-election. Remember, he got re-elected just last week. So this is really playing the cards in his favor right now, even if the fans voted. Obviously,
probably actually waited till after his election.
Okay, so we can get back on the pitch of play. Chelsea are now back in Champions League places.
Not for long.
Sorry?
Not for long.
What do you mean not for long?
I mean, they have to keep playing. It's not decided yet. They struggled against Brighton yesterday.
Well, so they are fourth.
But their manager actually made an excuse. He said it
was a draw, but
he said the European Super League actually affected the constitution of his boys. I don't think you can actually excuse him for that, especially when you look at the mammoth of fans that stood on their ways en route to the Stamford Bridge yesterday.
Well, it's always for Bayern Munich, they didn't have any of that problem. So they won again yesterday.
They're 2-0 against Leverkusen,
inching ever closer to the Bundesliga.
And I was quite surprised to see RB Leipzig lost their own fixture. I think away at FC Cologne. Cologne had not won in 9 games in the league before that night's fixture, and of course it was all on the offing for RB Leipzig to at least give one last push for the Bundesliga title. But alas, they lost away 2-1, and Bayern won in their own fixture. Now they have about 10 points gap with about 4 more games left. By Saturday, should Bayern win, they're home and dry with the title.
Okay, we need to take a break now to get this message. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Ilaji Hotel and Spa Resort is at it again. In furtherance of its corporate vision of nurturing football talent to stadium and in fulfillment of its contractual agreement with Malaga CF of Spain, Ilaji Hotel and Spa Resort is organizing a 7-day scouting program and coaching education for talented footballers and coaches who want to give their career a giant leap. This scouting program will hold between Saturday, 1st of May and Friday, May 7, 2021. Application fee is 10,500 for the young talented footballers and 20,000 naira for the coaches. Highly talented footballers stand a good chance of being scouted by Malaga CF Academy coach and Mr. Diego Martins, a FIFA licensed agent. Ilaji Hotel and Spa Resort will be responsible for the sponsorship of successful players. Former coaches will be given a certificate of participation. Visit Ilaji Hotel and Spa Resort or Loyal Village at Koro Ibadan or call 0802 362 6685 for details. Don't miss it.
Okay, great to have you back on Sports Bank, the home stretch of the program. Remember, the registration is still ongoing as we speak on the Ilaji Hotels and Sports Resorts Scouting and Coaching Program, which is set to commence in only a matter of days, to be precise, from Saturday, the 1st of May, through to Friday, the 7th of the same month. The aim of this program, as we've been telling you since Monday, is to nurture footballing talent to stardom, and in fulfillment of his agreement, the partnership with Malaga CF of Spain. The project will be centered around scouting exercise for talented footballers and a clinic for coaches who want to give their careers a giant sleep. I think that the part giant should be mentioned, and adding a bit of glitz to this one is that one of the topmost coaches around is also going to be on board. Adegoju Festus, who is currently the president of Nigerian Football Coaches Association Oyo State chapter. He will be joining very eminent Nigerians, the likes of ex-Super Eagles manager coach Adegboye Onigmide, Nduka Agbade, Mutiu Adekoju, Akim Bosari. All of this will be teaming up with the head Malaga CF Academy head coach Martinez, Marcos, and Antonio. Take advantage of this one. Remember, it's important to call these numbers for more information. 08023626685. 08072779231. I'll take that number again. 08072779231. For the footballers, I've been getting a lot of inquiries saying, okay, do I qualify? There's actually like a cap. It's not for if you're already 45. Please don't bother. To say, but I'm still talented and I can still do it. Am I missing the point?
You are missing it.
So what's the cap for the players?
Definitely, because those people coming on board, they need fresh, young blood, talented blood that can actually do the job for them.
But if I feel at 45, I can still do that.
Then you can come for recreation. You can just come and have fun, then go back to.
Why don't you just think of going into coaching? I mean,
exactly. You could actually
still want to play.
When you
are still part of the game,
when
but
you
not
want to go
actively
for that coaching course, you have no age limit. You can always come around and have
Stop making it sound like you're actually talking to me.
Yeah, I'm actually talking to you.
I'm actually not the one.
Okay,
I'm not 45. Okay, so it's not like about me. So for the players, for the players,
who fits in between the ages of 10 and 21, you actually fit into that.
10 and 21.
Yeah, between 10 to 21.
And what are the benefits?
Actually. Yeah, benefit is the number one. When you actually picked from that scouting program, Ilaji Hotels and Sports Resorts will be fully responsible for your sponsorship from Nigeria over there to Spain. And of course, you're not paying full sponsorship. You're not paying a dime. So I think that's a huge one. Unlike other programs where you still have to drop some traveling, fee and all that. And you'll be accommodated for that particular day that the scouting would actually be going on. So I think this is a huge opportunity for talented footballers out there that would come on board and take advantage of this. To actually make this interesting, just about 2 days ago, two of the former academy players that was actually in that academy are now in Malta as we speak at this point in time. Suweki FC. I mean, they actually gone through this process, and at this point in time, they're in that particular country. So I think it's a huge opportunity for anybody, for any talented footballers to actually come on board and take this huge opportunity. And the registration fee is just very affordable. I don't think that is too much for the huge opportunity for any talented footballers. 10,500 naira for the footballers, and of course for coaches, for aspiring coaches, 20,000 naira.
We spend more than that, buying data to download.
Exactly, plus feeding.
So take advantage of this one. This numbers again very important: 08023626685, and lastly 08072779231. We'll continue to bring this message up for as long as this exercise lasts. We need to leave right now for just football to be back later today at 4:00. Ayobami Animashan, it's been a good time with you on the program.
Yeah, it's been a short time with you as well. Today, quickly before I get to leave, there's a tweet right on Twitter as regards that post, and let's just take this one from Abdulkarim Ismail Akode. Says they should be punished because that's divided loyalty. #SportsCan.
Okay, don't worry. 29th of May, Magic Night, Champions League.
Definitely.
100% confirmed.
Never in doubt.
You know, we should have started talking about since it's Monday, but European Super League got greedy. But now, we're back in business.
Definitely.
Ferran Adigwega, thank you.
Yeah, always a pleasure to be here.
Do have a lovely Wednesday. Bye-bye.
Keep on keeping it on, yes,
Splash FM 105.5.
Ìgbà náírà owó ìdákọ̀mú ǹjẹ́ o mọ̀ wípé o lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọjọ́ ọ̀la tó dára lónìí pẹ̀lú ìgbà náírà nítorí náà bó o bá jẹ́ ìyálọ́jà oníṣòwò tàbí òbí lápò oníròyìn ayọ̀ fún ọ wọ́n ń pè ní my pikin and I account.